a few. That's me in Feversham Primary School 2 years ago, showing everybody a film of me and my dad and my first ever train set. Wasn't I a lucky, lucky boy? Wow. And here I am back in Feversham Primary Playing Grounds. I can't believe it. I'll be with you in a, I'm just going to do this Rocket Kids. Yeah, I'm doing the Rocket Kids Club, and then I'll come and do all your stuff and send those emails out, yeah? Okay? Well, I know we've got a show at 3. I sent everybody, it's fine. Sorry guys, sorry about that. So yeah, where was I? I've got these t-shirts. I don't know if anybody wants a t-shirt like mine, but we've got 3 t-shirts here and we're going to print them with your design on, and I'm going to tell you how we can do that in the show today. We're going to be doing t-shirt printing. We've got a great Rocket Kids Club show special today. It's all about music. It's all about not just aiming high, but higher than high. And we've got 3 amazing special guests. As ever, we're talking about one thing, and that one thing is you and your art. Because art is what we call it when what we do connects us to somebody else. So my dad gave me a train set that connected me. Art is what we call it when what we do connects us to somebody else. And one of my favourite films is a film by this man, Elton John, which is a story of his life. And if you've been in the Rocket Club before, you might have seen it earlier, you saw that film about how he was given a piano and he learned to play the piano. He worked really hard and made lots of money. And some people look at that and think, well, he's white and I'm white and we're lucky, and if you're not white, maybe it's a bit harder. And sometimes it can be, and it has been in the past. But I think a lot of things are changing, hopefully, and that's what today's all about. It's about helping everybody, whatever the colour of your skin, whatever your sex is, boy, girl, whatever you are, whatever colour you are, it's about everybody having the same opportunities, and assuring you and letting you know that lots of people are here to help you, And lots of people like you, whatever you think you're like, have also done very well. And we're going to speak to 3 really, really cool people who've done very, very, very well over their colour of their skin or whatever their background. They've worked hard and they've aimed not just high, but higher than high, because that's what the Rocket Kid Club is all about, isn't it? Elton John was very, very lucky. He was given a piano, and that piano made him lots of money. He's made $500 million with that piano because he learned to play the piano and write songs. He's very, very talented. He's played all over the world. He's made money. He's made friends. He's even friends with the Queen and the Queen Mother when she was alive. Amazing. Princess Diana, he was her friend as well. He's made lots of friends, and he's made the world a better place, because I know people who sing his songs when they're driving in their car from one end of Britain to another, singing and being happy because it makes them happy. Yeah, me. He's helped me be happy with his art. And I didn't think I was an Elton John fan. I'm a bit of a born-again Elton John fan, I think. So here we are in Feversham Primary. Absolutely lovely to be here again with everybody and sharing this very, very special day with you all. Talking about, as I say, art. Because art, your art could be photography. Your art could be dancing. Your art could be graphic design. I love this graphic. I don't know if any of you are watching from Leeds, but that lady's name is Morag Myerscough, and she's designed a billboard in Leeds that's got that really cool, funky graphics that's all about community and thanking our carers. I don't know if you've seen that. And I'm live on BBC Leeds at 1 o'clock today, so that's something to look out for if you are in Leeds, or you might be able to get it everywhere else, of course. Your art could be not just design, it could be DJing. Your art could be designing clothes, fashion. Your art could be football. I know lots of people like football. Well, if your art is football, if that's something you're passionate about, if that's something you love doing, well, you do it. Keep doing it. Don't let anybody stop you. But have a plan B, because if you want to play for Leeds United or Bradford, you might need a plan B just in case you're the 12th person, you don't get picked for the team. Or like my granddad got a trial for Norwich City and he was going to be in the team and he broke his ankle. And he couldn't play. So suddenly that dream was all over. But it's a good job he'd worked hard at school and was good at other things and started a factory putting baked beans in tin cans. That's what he did. But I'm not going to bore you about that now. Cooking. Well, there you go. That's a link, isn't it? Cooking. Lots of people like the Big Bake Off, which is a great program for connecting people with food and chefs. Coding, playing computer games. Well, we don't just play them. We're going to teach you in the Rocket Kids Club how to code computer games. We're going to teach you all about coding. We've even got a robot here. We're going to teach you how to do the art of robots. We're going to give this robot to a school community at the end of May. We're going to work out a competition so that you can win one of these £500 JD robots. We might get that going later on. Robots, rockets. My art is rockets because I show people how to make rockets with bits of paper, little pieces of pipe, and we fire them over the roofs of houses. And we've even got dynamite rockets we bring to schools as well. So rockets is my art because that's probably what's connected me with lots of schools. Because they wouldn't let me come in and make paper aeroplanes, and they wouldn't let me come in and play Lego, and they wouldn't let me come in and design t-shirts, and they wouldn't let me come in and do anything else. But they like rockets. Oh, you can let a rocket off. Yeah, you can come into our school and we'll give you some money if you'll do that, because that sounds expensive. Yeah, we'll do that. Brilliant. And that's how it works. That's how it works. When you aim high, not just high, but higher than high, you can do anything. This book, my dad found in an Oxfam bookshop. It's about 4 boys who didn't want to be coal miners in America in 1957, and they saw the Sputnik satellite. They were inspired to aim not just high, but higher than high. They were inspired to learn to make rockets, and their teacher gave them a book, and they made a rocket that went 6 miles high in the sky the year later. That book sold 6 million copies. There's a film about that book. I'm not going to talk to you about it now because we've done that on the Rocket Kids Club already, and I've done it lots. But what's interesting is that, have you ever written a book? Have you ever dreamt of reading a book, writing a book? Have you ever dreamt of writing your own book that big? Wow, that's a big thing. I haven't written a book. And some people said to me, oh, when you've written a book, tell us, because then you can come to our conference. Then we'll let you say things, and then we'll let you do things. Then we'll take you seriously. So I wrote a book. I just wrote a book. I sat down with Microsoft Word and I typed some stories that I'd been telling boys and girls all over the country, and then I put it in a book. You can make a Microsoft Word document, save it as a PDF with Adobe Acrobat, send it to the printers, and 2 days later I had 1,000 books back. And this book, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to see if I can get my camera here to show you this, because all the pictures in this book were taken. Press that button there and that one there, and then you can see All the pictures in here were drawn by children at Parklands Primary School up there in Leeds, Mr. Dyson's school. Look at these, there's Elton John, fantastic rocket. All these drawings were done by Parklands Primary School. And there's Elton John, look, playing his piano. And there are pages in there that you can draw, and this is on Amazon now actually, but we're going to put it on the Steamco shop because Amazon take too much money off us. But that's the Rocket Kids Stories book. And I didn't think I'd ever write a book. And then somebody said, a very, very, very respected man said about this book, he said, this book will change lives. This book will change lives, he said. And there's Macaulay from Parklands Primary, from the Seacroft Estate, on the front of my book. So it just shows, doesn't it? It just shows that if you aim high as a rocket, if you aim as high as a rocket, then you can do anything. It doesn't matter where your background is. It doesn't matter about the colour of your skin. Sometimes it might feel a bit harder, sometimes it might be a bit harder. And you know what? Life is hard. And sometimes you've got to jump over those barriers and aim high. And that's what inspiration and aspiration is all about. And that's what we're going to talk to Action Jackson about later on. My art is also a different type of rocket. My art is the steam rocket, steam track engines like Rocket Stephenson's rocket. That was invented by a man called George Stephenson and his son Robert Stephenson. They worked together. And he was illiterate when he was 14. He could not read or write because he worked in a coal mine in Newcastle area. He saved his money, he learnt to read, and then became the boss of the steam engine and ended up designing Stephenson's rocket. So that's how a little boy who was so poor he couldn't read or write, worked hard, saved his money, learnt to read and write, did what he could, and ended up literally changing the world. Because Stephenson's rocket is a bigger invention than the smartphone, believe it or not. Because without that steam engine, we wouldn't have had trains, we wouldn't have got coal from the coal mines to the sea, we wouldn't have got wool from the fields to the mills, we wouldn't have had the Industrial Revolution that made Britain great, and made Britain great on our creativity, on our engineering, on our fashion design, on our cooking, on all these arts. And that's why it's so important now, because we're in a lockdown. And every time you turn the news on, it's, oh, there's going to be a recession and this, that and the other. Well, now is the time to be finding your art and working hard at it. And that's what the Rocket Kids Club is all about, connecting you and creative carers so you can be inspired, so you can create and so you can share. We believe in art for absolutely everybody, art for all. And that's what we're doing here at up in Feversham Primary today. And I want to show you the art t-shirts. Do you like my t-shirt? I don't know if you can see that. It's got a little bird cage that's got the door open because the bird has flown away. And this was inspired by one of my favourite books. Don't know if you can see my t-shirt. There you go. It's like a bird cage and with the door open and the bird has flown away. And that was inspired by this book. It's got a see-through cover. It's quite cool, isn't it? You can see that picture through the back. The Icarus Deception by Seth Godin. It's about aiming high. Because once upon a time, there was a little boy called Icarus, and he wanted to fly. And he made some wings with feathers and wax, and he stuck them on his arms. And he went to fly out of the window. And they said, stop, don't fly out of the window. Go and stand by the riverbank and try. Because if you fall out of a window, you could hurt or kill yourself. Do not try that, they said. So he went to the riverbank. And he said, now what do they do? They said, right, well, don't fly too close to the sun because your wax on your wings will melt, the feathers will come off and you'll crash into the sea or the river. And don't fly too close to the water because if you go near the water, your wings will get wet and you might sink. What you need to do is fly exactly where we tell you. And Icarus made some wings and flew, and sure enough they melted and didn't fly because people can't fly, but it doesn't matter, he had to go. But the point is, we shouldn't really have all these big rules. We should aim high. As long as it's safe, we're here to help you, and we shouldn't be afraid of having a go. We shouldn't be afraid of trying. We shouldn't be afraid of failure. And that's what the Icarus story really is all about. Not staying within the rules, but breaking rules if it's safe, breaking rules if you need to get somewhere you really want to go. That's what that's all about, and being really, really brave and bold like that. And what we want you to do today is we want you to celebrate your art. we want you to go to our website and download one of these templates off the hashtag I Love Art website. You fold it in half like that and then draw a lovely heart in the middle here, like all these lovely people here have. Some lovely friends here. There's Malumba, our artist and our production manager. He works for Steam Canal. He got his first job there. And there's Susan Coles from Newcastle, who's one of our best friends in art. She does fantastic work. She's the art criminal, that's what she's called. And she did one of these. And then what you do is you draw your heart, and then once you've drawn it like that, say, you hold it in front of you, have your photo taken, put it on the internet, hashtag I Love Art, hashtag, what should we do today? Hashtag Art of Bradford. Should we do that? Hashtag Art of Bradford. And why do you need to take that off? Don't I? Don't need that anymore because we are here. Let's put that on there. Hashtag Art of Bradford. Let's see if there's anybody out there. Actually, I wonder if there's anybody out here. Let's have a look. Let's see. Let's type a message. Anyone there? There we go. That message has gone out. There's a message on the screen now. I can show you that. I'll show you the message I just typed. Look, I can click that. It comes up on the screen. Can you see that underneath, just under here? So if you are online watching now, if you're watching us, type a message in there and then we'll put it up on the screen and we'll say hello to you. And you can type a message. You can say, Nick, why are you wearing your helmet? Or I don't like your t-shirt. So anyway, what we're going to do is 3 people who do one of these, we will design and print you a t-shirt and send it in. And we've got to do some for those boys and girls down in the Isle of Wight, actually, haven't we? I forgot about that. We've got that done, don't you worry. Been a busy old week, as I'm sure you can imagine. And we're also printing them onto posters like these, look. So these are our art, I Love Art posters. See that? Oh, that's Alex. And he did a lovely one. That's a really good one. You see, because he's very clever at this. He's very good at making photos and things that we share. Look, because he did it on a really cool background. You see, so he didn't just have a boring background. So that's a really cool. And on our website, we've got a link to a place that will print a poster for you. Now, they're about £18. They're quite a lot of money, but you could always do what this family here did, and you could do for the whole family and then put it up in your living room or put it up on your garage or something to show how much you love art. Look at those guys there. Look. They're from Notting Hill. They're all part of the Notting Hill Carnival. That lovely family are. They're super people. We like them. So there you go. You could print your own poster. And then what we're doing is we've had 1,000 printed and we're putting them up on walls like this. So we're fly posting them. We get permission for that most of the time. And all inspired by this man, JR.
I was in the street writing my name to say I exist. Then I went to taking photos of people to paste them on street to say they exist. From the suburbs of Paris to the wall of Israel and Palestine, the rooftop of Kenya to the favelas of Rio. Paper and glue, as easy as that. I asked a question last year, can art change the world? Well, let me tell you, in terms of changing the world, there have been a lot of competition this year, because the Arab Spring is still spreading. The Eurozone has collapsed. What else? The Occupy movement, find a voice. And I still have to speak English constantly, so there have been a lot of change. So when I had my TED Wish last year, I said, look, I'm going to switch my concept. You are going to take the photos, you're going to send them to me, I'm going to print them and send them back to you. Then you're going to place them where it makes sense for you to place your own statement. This is inside out. 100,000 posters have been printed this year. Those are the kind of posters, let me show you. And we keep sending more every day. This is the size. Just a regular piece of paper with a little bit of ink on it. This one was from Haiti. When I announced my wish last year, hundreds of people stood up and said they wanted to help us. But I say it has to be under the condition I have always worked. No credit, no logos, no sponsoring. A week later, a handful of people were there, ready to rock, and empower the people on the ground who wanted to change the world. These are the people I want to talk to you about today. 2 weeks after my speech in Tunisia, hundreds of portraits were made. And they pasted every single portrait of the dictator by their own photos. Boom! This is what happened. Slim and his friends went to the countries and pasted hundreds of photos everywhere to show the diversity in the country. They really make Inside Out their own project. Actually, that photo was pasted in a police station, and what you see on the ground are ID cards of all the photos of people being tracked by the police. Russia. Chad wanted to fight against homophobia in Russia. He went with his friend in front of every Russian embassy in Europe and stand there with their photo to say...
Isn't that fantastic? This is the campaign that JR has unrolled called the Project Inside Out Project. Changing the world with art, making a difference, and that's what this is all about. So you, if you do one of these, will be part of a global $1 million project because he won $1 million and he's spending all that money printing posters for people. And if you wanted to do your own project, you could email him and say, hi JR, we've got a project, we're a bit worried then taking our playground away, or we want a bigger football pitch or something. You could ask him and he'll print 5 or 6 or 10 for you for free. For free. He's done 1,000 for us for free. He doesn't usually do thousands for people. But look how fantastic this is, look. Amazing, amazing man. So that's our I Love Art campaign. And just to remind you how to do that,
ladies and gentlemen.
Art is what we call it when someone does something that might connect us to someone else.
I wish for you to stand up for what you care about. By participating in a global art project, and together we turn the world inside out. And this starts right now. Yes, everyone in the room. Take the photo, the portraits, upload it, and I'll send you back your poster. Join by groups and reveal things to the world. So I hope that together we'll create something that the world will remember. And this starts right now and depends on you. Thank you. Thank you.
wow. JR, so you can be part of that campaign. And here we are at Feversham Primary today, talking to you about aiming high, about music, about everybody in the world doing well. I'm from STEAMco. I run a project called STEAMco, and the S stands for science, T stands for technology, E stands for engineering, A stands for art, and M stands for maths. But what do you think this little word on the end here stands for? A lot of people think company, because you have big companies, the Ford Motor Company, you have all sorts of different companies that are big businesses making money. Well, we're not a business making money. We're called a community enterprise, and we're non-profit, so I'm not allowed to make a profit. I can pay myself, but can't make a profit. So all those co-words are what the co stands for. All these words on the side of the screen here, cooperation, collaboration, community, connection, co-creation, those are all the co-words. But when we set the community enterprise up, co had to stand for one of them. Which one do you think you'd pick? Which one of those words would you pick if you had to be a STEAM something? STEAM co-creation company, a STEAM community, that would be a good one. STEAM connection. Well, actually, we chose collaboration. And that's been a very, very, very special word for us. I don't know if you know this song, but this is a band called Sister Sledge. And families are all about collaboration. She's got all her sisters, and she's nothing without her sisters. Can you imagine that song if her sisters weren't with her? Well, that song is a really inspiring song, and for me, is all about collaboration. I think that song's really about collaboration and families and people working together, not just a family in your house, but if you're in a school, that's a family quite often, isn't it? You think of a school as being a family or a community working together, helping each other, supporting each other. If you're in a school now, your school head teacher and your teachers and teaching assistants and cooks and site managers and everybody else, they're a family helping you. And they're taking a lot of risks to do that today, which is why they sometimes have to wear masks and you're not allowed to get close to each other. But they're doing that because they care about you, because you're in their family. They collaborate with you. Now, I did a talk at this school. This is a school in Islington in London called Copenhagen Primary. And a lovely lady called Katie Potts told me all about this school. She said, go there, it's brilliant. And it was, oh my goodness. After the day, the head teacher runs an exercise club, street dance, and she had me doing a choo-choo train dance. It was great fun. I can't wait to go back there again. But I had an amazing moment when I was in a school because I was telling everybody about Nile Rodgers, this amazing musician who wrote We Are Family and those songs for Sister Sledge. And I just looked at my phone one day and then suddenly, guess what? Nile Rodgers was on the phone. And I said, hello, Mr. Rodgers. Gosh, I can't believe you're here. A lot of people think with STEAMCO, Mr. Rodgers, that the co stands for company. But actually, it's not about company. It's about collaboration. What do you think collaboration's all about?
For me, collaboration is everything. I believe that even when I'm composing, I basically write for ensembles. And I can't really perform it. I can write it. I say all the time, Beethoven can write the Fifth Symphony, but he can't play it. You need a symphony orchestra to play it. Yes, I can play the motifs, I can compose the different motifs, but in order to make them sound the way they're supposed to sound, you need a group of people to perform those ideas. And that's how I write. I write for people, so I collaborate just when I'm doing it compositionally. I collaborate when I'm working with others that are throwing their ideas back and forth to me. So my whole life is a collaboration.
Wow, well, thank you for that. That's very interesting. My whole life is a collaboration. Well, what a lovely thought. My whole life is a collaboration. Here I am in Feversham, and there's somebody that I want to tell you all about. A few years ago, I was very, very lucky. I got invited to a book launch, which is a little event where they have a few crisps and some nice drinks, and people stand around talking. And then a person who's written a book stands up and tells you about their book, and we all clap, and they give you a copy of their book, and you go home. It's lovely, and that's what sometimes happens here in London. I'm very lucky I get invited to these things. And I got invited to a book launch by a man I know who was a teacher, and he was a deputy head teacher in a school. And he's a very, very successful man on the internet. In fact, he's got something like nearly 300,000 followers on Twitter. He says he's the most followed teacher on Twitter. It's really amazing. Anyway, I met a lovely, lovely lady at this event called Winnie. And I chatted to her and I said, what do you do? And she said, I'm a science teacher. And I said, that's interesting because I run a thing called STEAMCO, which is S for science, and T for technology, E for engineering, A for art, and M for math. And she said, that sounds great. Well, what do you do? And I said, I do all sorts of things. But at the moment, I'm quite enjoying letting rockets off because I'm finding that really exciting. What school do you teach in? She said, I'm in a secondary school. And I said, oh, blimey. I don't think I've really done secondary schools. Most of my work is in primary schools. And she said, well, why don't you come to my school and see how it goes? And I did. And we went up there and it was fantastic. And then I actually realized when I was chatting to her, she said that she was a singer. So as well as being a science teacher, her hobby is being a singer. And do you know what? I am so glad because if I press this button down here, there she is. Look, hello, Winnie.
Hello, hi, nice to meet you.
This is amazing, this technology we've got here, isn't it? Gosh.
Wonderful.
I don't know, I was just telling the children actually about how we first met at Ross McGill's book launch, wasn't it? Do you remember?
That's right. Yes, I do. I met Ross many years ago when he was just starting teaching. So yes, I know him very well.
And remind me what your connection was with Ross actually, because he's doing very well as a teacher, now a consultant, isn't he?
Yes, he is. When he first started, I mentored him. So I looked after him and helped him get started in his teaching career, which was a great pleasure because he worked very hard. So mentor. So basically that means
when you're a new teacher, you go into a school and it's a bit scary, even if you're a grown-up teacher. It's a bit like being a child, isn't it? It's a bit scary on your first day. And what was your job then? If you were his mentor, what did that mean?
Well, my job was to help him settle in. If he needed to find out any information about the school, I was able to tell him. When he was starting his teaching, if he needed any help and advice, I was able to give him, basically hold his hand the first few months he's getting into his teaching career.
Fantastic.
So yeah, it's just helping him along.
And then you told me you enjoyed singing, and then you actually came and sang at a conference I ran in King's Cross, didn't you? Do you remember that? That was lovely.
Oh, I do. The Arts Connect conference. It was absolutely amazing. It was good to see so many people there. It was a great event.
It was
Really
lovely.
enjoyed
It's
it.
funny because we had a great big room and it wasn't full, but I walked in there and I didn't see a room that was half empty or half full. I actually saw a big television studio and I thought, aren't we lucky to have such a wonderful space? Because the video looked great, didn't it?
It was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
We'll have to share that. And today, I'm in Bradford today, or pretending to be in Bradford with our teleporter transporter technology. But we're pretending we're in Bradford today, and I know you're pretending you're in Bradford because you're singing, I think, today at the conference that we're here for, are you as well?
I am, definitely. Yes, I'll be singing a lovely song by Whitney Houston.
Oh, which one's
The
that?
Greatest Love of All. Yeah.
The great. Could you just sing the first? I know it's a bit difficult when you haven't got the music there. Could you sing the first couple of lines for us, just to show the children how beautiful your voice is? Could you do that? I think they call that a
my
cappella.
pleasure.
They call that a cappella, don't
My
they?
pleasure.
Is that all right? Put you on the spot. I know. Go on.
I believe the children are our future. Treat them well and let them lead the way. Is that enough to
My
prove that I
goodness.
can sing?
I think that was beautiful. My goodness. How do that again? But just do that little bit. What does it go to? I believe our children are our future. Teach them well. Let me show. How about that last little bit? That last sentence.
Okay.
Oh, you could do.
Okay.
Sorry, go
I'll
on.
do from the beginning. Don't worry. I believe the children are our future. Treat them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride. Is that okay?
That's just lovely. Thank you so much, Winnie. Gosh, you're so talented, aren't you? So, how long have you wanted to be a singer? Where did this little idea start? Is it something you've just been doing for the last year or so, or?
Oh no, I was very lucky. When I was in school, even at primary school, my music teacher was so exciting and she really got me interested in music. So from when I was very small, I've always sung and I've really enjoyed it right the way through all of my school days. And from there, I just decided that I wanted to sing more and sing jazz. And that's where I'm at now.
Wonderful. Gosh, and so that was a dream you had. And did you start singing because you wanted to make millions and millions of pounds or bust? Was it that made you want to do it, or what made you want to be a singer?
No, not at all. I wanted to sing because one, it gives me so much pleasure to sing. Also, it means I can work with other musicians and we can connect together and make beautiful music together, which is wonderful. It's so nice to work with friends and create something wonderful. So that's very inspiring. And I just love when I sing just to see the pleasure on people's faces. That's really why I do it. I love to see them happy when I sing.
That's lovely. There's a co-word that means working together. Do you know that co-word?
Is that connect?
Well, that's one of them. What's the other co-word? I think co means together, so there's quite a few. But
Cooperate?
that's another one. That's not the one I'm thinking of, which means you're totally wrong until you guess what I'm thinking. Look into my eyes, young lady, but you're not far off. It's col something.
Collaborate.
There you go. So believe it or not, I was in a school in Liverpool, in Toxteth, at the end of last year. We did a week in Liverpool, and I had a video call with Nile Rodgers in New York. And I said to him, Mr. Rodgers, Steam Co, a lot of people think the Co stands for company, but it actually stands for collaboration. What does collaboration mean to you? And he said to me, because I write a song, not for me, but for a whole orchestra or a whole band, I can compose all the different pieces of music, but it's nothing without orchestra. So for me, collaboration is everything. And that's collaboration, working together is a really important skill for the world. And you've just described how artists need it as much as anybody else.
Definitely, definitely. Particularly if you're singing in a choir, for example, we all have to collaborate together to make that one beautiful sound. And that's so important. And I do a lot of choir singing. I really enjoy that aspect of it. I love it.
Wonderful. The conference today is about what's called decolonising the music curriculum, which is trying to make it more representative. What do you think that means? How do you explain the concept of that to the children who are listening to their parents?
Okay, well, I think what it is that for whatever nation, whatever country you come from, you have music that's linked with your country. And it's important as we're growing up, we are aware of that music, we know where we come from. And I think the conference is about how schools can really help children of all nations, wherever you come from, just to have a connection with your music and your background. So it's not just English music or European music, it might be African music, it might be American music, it might be Spanish music. It's just a range. You're aware of music and your background to help you develop.
So it's important that we look at all sorts of music and not just one particular culture. We address everything.
Definitely.
When you were a little girl, did you have a favourite singer? Or favourite song?
I think when I was growing up, Diana Ross, I have to say, she was one of my favourite singers.
Because she was a lady of colour, a black lady, wasn't she? So
Yes, she was.
was that
And she's
significant to you?
amazing.
Was that significant to you that you had her to look up to, or did you not see her colour?
I think when I was younger, when I was at primary school, I don't think I really saw her colour. But as I got older, I think I became aware that music comes from all nationalities, and you felt quite proud to see people like Diana Ross, Stevie Wonder, people from similar backgrounds to yourself achieving in music. That was a great aspiration for me.
That's lovely. And because we say to the children that art, as you know, is what we call it when what we do connects us. And somebody's art might help them make a little bit of money, I'm sure, because I know you do concerts and sometimes you make some money, sometimes you lose some money, but over the year hopefully you at least break even. But you might make some, you might make a lot. Elton John made $500 million with his piano, so he's done well for music. I know your art could help you make some friends, and your art could help you make the world a better place. So I know that you do concerts and you charge sometimes for the tickets, so that's the money thing. Give me an example of how you've maybe made some friends through your art, or how you think you might have made the world a better place with your art.
Well, one of the things that I love to do is I do a lot of jazz concerts, but I do quite a lot for charity. So when I do a jazz concert, I usually have a charity focus. And so what has been lovely has been able to spread joy, have people enjoy, but also raise money for a good cause as well. So, for example, Marie Curie, which is a charity that deals with people suffering with cancer, I've been able to raise money for that. Shelter, raising money for the homeless. I did that last Christmas. That was great. So it's lovely to be able to use my art to help others.
So you've both made some money and made a few friends while you were doing that and made the world a better place. Well, that's lovely. Thank you so much, Winnie. It's lovely to see you again. And
My pleasure.
And I think one of the things about this technology is, having met you and knowing what a lovely, warm person you are, that it's not as good as being in the room with you, obviously, but it's better than not seeing you at all. And I think these.
Thank you. Same here.
But
It's lovely to connect with you.
And
again.
that human connection is there, isn't it, really? And
Definitely.
for me, that's why we say that art is about creativity and tools or technology and people. And it's that combination that's so special. Thank you so much. It's lovely. I could
you.
just listen to you singing all day. Good luck with your teaching and good luck with your music career, and stay safe. You're a lovely, lovely person. We need you in one piece.
Thank you so much, Nick, and I've really enjoyed the interview. Thank you.
Bless you.
Take care.
Thanks,
God
Winnie.
bless.
Wow. Well, isn't that lovely having a chat with Winnie there? A science teacher who also is a beautiful, beautiful singer. And we've got some other amazing people lined up, actually. We've actually got a chat lined up with Action Jackson. Now, I'm going to have to just help him get on the system. So can you just bear with me for just 1 second? In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to play you a really, really cool film. I'm going to play you the Rocket Kids Club launch film, and you won't believe what happened. we fired a rocket from London and it landed in a backyard in Leeds in Yorkshire. And you won't believe it, which is why I'm going to have to show you. If I can find you the little film, we made a film of it and it was just incredible. And somebody said they didn't believe me. And so I showed them the film and then they believed me because they saw the film. So let me find you that film now. Oh, here it is. Oh yes, I love this film. I can't wait to see it myself. I can't wait to see it myself. So on the screen here, what we've got here is a man in the bottom there whose name is Homer Hickam. Now I don't know if you remember that name, but basically Homer Hickam down here, I find it really hard to actually know where to point actually. Here we go. He wrote this book. So Rocket Boys, the book behind me, that book there, he wrote. So this man wrote Rocket Boys. And those two girls up there live in Westminster in London. And that's their mum. And they were looking out of their window near where we were that day because we teleported, transported technology to go everywhere. We can get anywhere. We were at Glastonbury. We've been, see me in Glastonbury. I'll show you how we get to Glastonbury. Look, this is how we get to Glastonbury. Suddenly I'm at Glastonbury. Look, isn't that incredible? So we can go from Glastonbury back to up here in Bradford, just like that, by pressing teleporter, transporter buttons. Amazing technology. And what happened that day was that Homer Hickam was on a video call with us and those two girls. And this is what happened.
20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition
8,
sequence
7,
start.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Can you see that?
Oh, wow.
Can you see it? Whoa.
I know.
That's a bit rubbish, isn't it? What happens to that then? Did you see any of that? Or did you just hear it? I'm sorry, I'm going to do that again.
And counting.
That's a bit rubbish, sorry about that.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition
8,
sequence start.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Can you see that?
Oh, wow.
Can you see it? Whoa!
I know.
Would you like to know a little secret about how Would you like to know a little secret about how our teleporter transporter technology works? Would you like to know how we do it? Because I can show you if you'd like to know. If you look at the screen now, it looks like I'm in Feversham Primary School, because that's a picture of Feversham Primary School. If I turn that button there, I disappear. If I press my transporter technology button and go there, suddenly I'm at Glastonbury in a farmer's field. If I press that button there, suddenly I appear. I appear in that farmer's field with that great big cow shed. Look, that's a big cow shed for cows, isn't it? There's all these tractors and trailers down there. Fantastic. So I'm going to show you how all this works, because this is what's really here. Just me and a green screen. Me and a green screen. And that's me on that camera. So I've got two cameras. I've got a camera there. And I've got a camera over there. So let's go back to that camera and I'll show you what we've got. There's the camera over there, look. So that's the camera over there that's filming me. So that's the one where I can wave, and you saw me a minute ago. That television up there, look at that. It's a television with 12 different pictures on it that I have to watch all the time to make sure everything's right and working properly. And then over here, I've got 3 computers. Can you see those 3 computers there? These are the computers that people connect with me on. So if somebody wants to come on the show, they have to connect with a video call, and they come up on that picture there or that one there, and that computer's connected to the internet. So if anybody wants to type me a message on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, we've got it all sorted now, so we can actually see your messages. So for example, Malumba, oh, there's somebody here from Malumba. Malumba's following us. If I click there, his message comes up on the screen. So his message is just under here, Malumba following you, and his little picture and his YouTube icons there as well. So I'm going to turn that off. I can change the message that's going along the bottom. So that's what happens on that computer at the back there. So these are the calls. This is like coming in on phoning up to get on the show. But the best thing, the brains of all this, is this big box with all the lights. Can you see all those lights there? That is what's called a vision mixer. And it's a bit like DJs have, where DJs have a record player and they mix their music or MP3 players or CDs. This has got 8 different channels. So every one of the wires at the back here, that one connects to a camera at the back. That connects to another camera. This one connects to my laptop, which is here. And that laptop there has got my PowerPoint on it with all the pictures. So that's number 3. So for example, if I press number 3, it will jump to the laptop again, which is a picture of Feversham Primary. So that goes back to that. This button here lets me make myself come up and go away again. This button here lets me put something up in a little window. That's that video over there. That puts something up in another little window there, which is our other Skype call. But I could change that so that that's now my laptop screen. And when I pull that up, I've got 2 windows. And I can even move them around. So if I wanted that one to be up in that corner up there and smaller, I can do that while I'm talking. And I could then move the other one. I can move the other one across, and I can make that a little bit smaller if I want to, and put that up down like that. And I can do all that as I'm going. But what's really, really, really cool is that everything that I can do on that box, I can do on this iPad app as well. So I've got this iPad app here, and I can, this is really cool. It's even got a sound mixer, so I can make the volume go quiet. You can hear me, and I turn it back up again. So these are sliders, and this is like a real mixer with real buttons, but it's just an iPad. Isn't that incredible? And I can go through here, and I've got all these different buttons. So if I wanted to just put a picture of something up here, I can just hit a button there. I can go to different settings. It's just fantastic. Really, really, really useful. So that is my secret box of teleporter tricks. Now that's not very good. You don't see them on a green screen, do you? So I need to go to number 3 and press that button, and here I am again. Isn't it brilliant? So Action Jackson's ready for us. Is he ready? Oh, fantastic. Action Jackson, I think he's ready for us. Okay, thank you very much, Action Jackson. One of the things we say about the Rocket Kids Club is that you have to not just aim high in life, but aim higher than high. And that's called aspiration, or is it? I'm never too sure between aspiration and inspiration. Now, if you're a regular viewer of the show, you'll have seen me chatting to an amazing guy who I think is inspirational and aspirational, and that's Action Jackson. And I think what I'm going to do right here, right now in Bradford, is press one of the buttons on the mixer here and see if I can get him up. I can hear him coughing. Oh, there he is. Action Jackson. Fancy seeing you here in Bradford. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you very much, Nick. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. We're rushing around all over the place. Been in Belfast, Cardiff, Glastonbury, Cornwall, and the Isle of Wight since I last saw you. It's just been nutsville. Now, didn't you have a little baby girl just the other week when we last saw you? How's that going?
Yes, that's going very, very well. She's keeping us on our toes. We are loving every second of it. So it's something that I really enjoy.
It's fun actually because
she's a good baby.
That's good to know. The thing about the coronavirus and the lockdown is it's obviously very, very serious and a lot of sadness, but there's also lots of happiness. But in a way, sometimes it's actually quite nice not to be able to leave your house because it means you have to spend time with your family, doesn't it?
Do you know what? I've been able to witness, bath times. I've been able to witness even nappy changes, lots of nappy changes. Yes. Lots of diapers.
I think children that are able to spend time with their family, they're so lucky. I mean, I say the three greatest gifts are time you can give a child to read and play, and there's never a better time than now. Stories and reading and that love of learning, and also just giving a child their art. And what it is that connects, and you're a great connector for me. I mean, what would you say your art is, Jackson?
My art is pretty much unlocking your happiness. I think life is about happiness, achievement, and impact. And if you can make someone feel happy about themselves, that's literally the key to life. Just making someone feel happy about themselves. I think that's critical. So my thing is unlocking your happiness.
Right, and you use the word impact then. What does impact mean when it comes to a person?
Well, I mean, many people go through so many different emotions in life. And I think if there's one thing I believe that we need to do is to help people overcome their challenges. And impact means if someone is down, you lift them up. If someone is sad, you make them happy. If someone is confused, you give them clarity. So it's going from down to up, from darkness to light. That's literally what impact is. And if everybody impacted one another, the world would be a better place.
That's good advice. When you were a little boy, what did you want to do in life? What did you think you wanted to be?
Well, do you know what? When I was growing up, I was glued to television. I loved watching television. I wanted to become an actor. I saw myself as a bit of a performer, but coming from an African background, performing is not one thing that's readily embraced. You either do mathematics, accounting, or the sciences. But in terms of creativity, was like a no-no. So I never had the aspirations, but I had the desire to become an actor. But the fear, because none of my uncles was doing acting, they were all doing other things. So I didn't really pursue the arts until later.
It's funny because I remember chatting to an Asian lady who was a very, very successful lady. She's actually on Meet the Kumars, one of the lead actresses in that. And she said that when she spoke to her uncle, he said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And she said, "I want to be an actor." And he said, "Isn't that spelt D-O-C-T-O-R?"
Wow.
And almost made her do a U-turn in the conversation to go and be and imagine that she was going to be something she really didn't want to be, and now she's very, very, very successful actress. What happened to you? Why didn't you become an actress or an actor even?
I could have been an actress, but
I've got a dress that fits you.
I think the reason why I didn't go down being an actor is if you say to someone I'll be an actor, the first thing people do is they laugh. They say it's a very tough industry to get into. If you're from an African background, you don't see any examples. I can't, thinking back, I didn't know one uncle, one auntie, anybody who was an actor. But we would sit around television sets and watch programs. It was all right for everybody else to chase that dream. But for you to go, no, it's a no, because coming from an African background, we were driven a lot by security and safety. And, get that safe and secure job, get money in, and just do what you need to do. But it wasn't about following your dreams and following your heart and unlocking the beauty that is your creativity.
It's interesting because just because you do drama at school, or
Yeah.
because you do dance at school, or because you study robots at school, it doesn't mean you have to be a robot scientist, or you have to be an actor, or you have to be a dancer. So what's the point of doing those subjects at school, do you think?
Well, I think, the arts unlock the human spirit. And I think if you're doing these creative subjects at school, it helps you to connect with yourself and connect with the world. And I think because, things like drama, art, they're looked down upon. But without them, if you look in society cannot survive without it. Imagine we've got movies, we've got theater. These are the things that make life worth living. It's the balance of life.
I saw something in the newspaper recently, some research that said that 29%, that's nearly a third of all parents who were asked, they said they've discouraged their children from doing arts and creative subjects. They actively discourage them away from those jobs. Although there's also research that shows that a lot of the traditional jobs, doctors and lawyer and accountants, a lot of those jobs are going to get done by JD and his robot friends. So in fact, the art skills are what we call transferable skills.
Exactly.
And they can be used for more things, can't they? What examples can you think of that? I mean, you're not an actor now, but you're using those skills, aren't you, in your job at the moment?
Well, if you think so, the 29% of parents that said, they actively, discourage their kids from going down the route of being an artist or whatever, you've just killed the spirit of that child. You've just killed the spirit of that child, because there is something the arts does to this human spirit, So going forward, by 2030 and beyond, some of the jobs that everyone's accountant, doctor, all that stuff will be taken over by AI. And I was reading in Forbes magazine recently.
What do you mean? What do you mean by AI, Jackson? What's
artificial intelligence?
Oh,
so
computers and yeah.
Robots are going to be taking over, but there are certain jobs that robots cannot take over, and one of them is creativity, problem solving. Those two things.
That's very interesting.
So if you're in the creative industry, and I think creativity is not dancing and singing. Creativity is seeing things from a different angle. So a doctor can be creative, a lawyer can be creative. It's about looking at life from a different point of view.
That's very important. That's very interesting. Those are really, really important skills then, aren't they? When I first started talking earlier, I was talking about you and your job and inspiration versus aspiration. What's the difference between those two words?
Okay, so the difference between inspiration and aspiration is this. I'll give you me for an example. I aspire to have a talk show, the #1 talk show in the UK that spreads happiness.
Wow.
That's my aspiration.
So that's your target, is it? Like a goal or a target, something you're aiming for, is it?
Yeah. So if you say, what's your aspiration? What we're saying is, what are you aiming for? What's your goal? Okay. Inspiration is when you move someone in a positive direction. It's like an energy. When you say someone is inspiring, they get you to think positively. So you need inspiration in order to reach for your aspiration. So there's a quote that says, aspire to inspire before you expire.
Oh, wow. So really try and make a bit of a difference, try and have some impact on somebody else's life and change somebody else's life as best you can. That's what you're saying really there, isn't it?
Yeah, okay. I'll give you an example. I've been watching Anton Deck since the days of Biker Grove, okay? And these are guys I've grown up with. Those guys inspire me because they're doing something I would love to do. They're on television and they're making you laugh weekend after weekend in, weekend out. So those are, they right now, if they died tomorrow morning, God forbid, they would have done their job on the planet by putting a smile on people's faces.
Wow. Well, that's very profound for some. Well, I can see why you're called a doctor now as well. You're very, very clever. So how would you describe your job? What would you say your job is? If somebody says, my job is this, what would you say?
Well, I think people say, well, I'm the UK ambassador for happiness, meaning that my job is to make people happy, period.
Right. Well, I think you do that. There's a pregnant pause after you say that. Gosh, okay. So that's your pitch, is it? Definitely.
That's it, to make you happy. And I have different ways of making you happy. I could sing to you, I can rap to you, I can talk to you, I can act for you. My goal is that by the time I'm done with you, there's a smile on your face, which inspires you to go and reach for your goals in life.
Well, go on then. I'm pretty happy at the moment, but what have you got? What could you do for me now? What might you be able to do to make me and everybody, all the boys and girls watching now, you're rubbing your hands with the opportunity. What tool have you got? What tool have you got in your box, Dr. Jackson?
All right, so I got this guitar here that I bought many years ago, and
Right.
it was my aspiration to play. And I think during the lockdown, you should learn to play an instrument or do something unique. So what I'm going to do is to pretty much play a song called Dream Big. It's a song that I've had for quite a while, and I just want to use it to inspire you to keep on dreaming. There is no limit to what you can do in life. Don't you ever let anything or anyone tell you it's impossible. So the song says, dream big, act now, never give up, you're amazing. Dream big, act now, never give up, you're amazing. Dream big, act now, never give up, you're amazing. Dream big, act now, never give up, you're amazing. Everybody say, dream big, act now, never give up, you're amazing. Dream big, act now, never give up, you're amazing. Yeah, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a singer or a writer, whatever you want to do, you can be it. Let no one tell you can't do it. Be the best you can be. Dream big. Yay!
Wow, you really are fantastic, Dr. Jackson. That's a medicine for anybody at this time, isn't it? You really are an inspiration. And
thank you, sir.
Well, you are an inspiration, you're an aspiration, because I think a lot of boys and girls all over the country watching this now and in the months and years ahead when we put this on our website are going to look and say, that man who makes people happy, that man who works so hard, that man who's now a great father, who's a good friend to many people, I want to aspire to be as good as that man.
Wow.
So that means you're a role model for lots of people, which is great. And I know lots of people here are looking, but your energy, your vibes are inspiring. They're inspirational. So thank you so much for joining us today and all your support moving forward. And this year is our hashtag year of collaboration. And it's great to be collaborating with you. And I hope you know that whenever I or anybody here at Steamco can help you, we're always here because we're all here to work together, because the co is for collaboration, and that's the word. Excellent. Just means together. So I'm delighted to see you looking so well and happy as a new young father.
Thank you.
And I know that the message today, I mean, what one message have you got for all the boys and girls today when we're talking about music and inclusivity and music by everybody, for everybody? What's your parting message to all the boys and girls today and their mums and dads and carers?
I say make sure you dance at least once a day. Yeah, because dancing releases your spirit and allows you to be free to dream big. So find a piece of music and make sure you dance to it every day, because that's what's going to help you fulfill your dreams, your heart.
Well, I'm an official disco dad because I'm now holding my disco mirror ball up in the studio here. And on Saturday nights we're having parties. Saturday night this week we've got DJ Count Skylarkin DJing here. So we'll look forward to seeing you on the dance floor. Thanks so much, Jackson.
Indeed. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to see you, and good luck, and look after that family, won't you? I'm going to press this button and vaporize you back to your family. Bye-bye, and thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Wow, well, what an amazing man. It's just so lovely to catch up with Dr. Jackson. And it just dream big, act now, never give up. You're amazing, but only you can believe it. You've got to believe it, as Action Jackson said there. And should we do that every day? Should we dance every single day? There's a campaign. Maybe we should do that with Graham Andre. Who else would be up for that? Chris Paulson, David Waring, Rachel Snape. I can think lots of head teachers who'd be up for that. Dance every day for a week. And we could do that the week building up to our Art of Community 3-day festival, because we've got some great DJs and brilliant times lined up for that. So that would be brilliant. as I said, this man here has been very inspiring. Elton John. Elton John there with his husband. Elton's a very proud gay man. He's married to David there, and his life changed when he was brave enough to say he was gay. His life changed when he had 2 sons, and they've got 2 sons in their family. And Elton John has decided that he wanted to stop working, stop his music career, because it's such hard work traveling around and he's never there for his family. So basically Elton John has retired from the music business because he's a dad. There's his little boy down there, look, and is such an inspiration to everybody and is absolutely fantastic in terms of the way he's inspired us all. And let's put that up there, shall we? Let's put him up there, and then I can stand here and we can still see him. There you go. That's clever, isn't it? And he's inspired, as I say, the little book that I wrote with 9 short stories. And we have these when we do our Rocket Kids sessions in schools, 9 short stories about inspiring men and women, like Homer Hickam, the boy who told his story in Rocket Boys. And he wrote a book and he sold 6 million copies. And he didn't even use his imagination because it's just a true story. He wrote his life story, and I wrote my first book. So you could write a book if you want to write a book and send it off and get it printed. You can write a newspaper. I've designed and printed newspapers. There's one of my newspapers there. I wrote a Steamco newspaper, and I did it in a program called Adobe Premiere, and I did all that on a computer, and you could do that yourself. It's really, really easy. And for £15, you can print 1 newspaper. And look at that one. We have to save art schools. How cool is that? That is so cool. I think Bob and Roberta Smith is going to love that, because that is a see-through magic art school poster, because that's the Big Drawer. The Big Drawer had Steam a few years ago. There we go. Check that out. How cool is that? Wow, I bet Rob and Roberta Smith will like that. That's a lovely poster. And so I designed and wrote a newspaper, and I'd never done it before. You can do whatever you want. This is Dr. Helen Sharman. So the girls and the women do really, really well in science. And Dr. Helen Sharman was the first British person in space. The first British person in space was not Tim Peake. It was Dr. Helen Sharman on a Russian spaceship and space rocket. The story of these amazing, amazing women. 3 amazing women. These African-American women, black women, who did the maths literally to put this man on the moon, to put the Americans into space. And let's see if we can get this up. Looks like my mixer's having a bit of a funny old time here. Let's press that and press that and that, get rid of those boxes, and play this little video about hidden figures.
Equilateral, trapezoid, isosceles, tetrahedron.
I've never seen a mind like the one your daughter has. You have to see what she becomes.
Come on! Hey. Move like that. Hey.
Catherine, we all gonna end up unemployed riding around in this pile of junk.
You're welcome to walk the 16 miles.
Or sit in the back of the bus.
It gets me up.
You have identification on?
We're just on our way to work at NASA, sir.
I had no idea they hired.
There are quite a few women working in the space program.
You know what we're doing here? We're putting a human on top of a missile, shooting him into space, and it's never been done before. I need a mathematician that can look beyond the numbers. Math that doesn't yet exist. Before the Russians plant a flag on the damn moon.
You have someone?
Running what I'm playing.
Catherine's the gal for that. She can handle any numbers you put in front of her.
Don't embarrass me.
This wasn't emptied last night?
I'm sorry, I'm not the... That Colonel Jim is a tall glass of water.
He's coming over.
Now, why would he be doing that?
Because Mary's waving at me.
No! Dorothy, slice of pie?
I love one.
You already have a slice of pie, Dorothy.
Oh, left.
You're a computer at NASA. You let women handle that sort of...
Yes, it's a computer battle.
Yes, they let women do some things at NASA, Mr. Johnson. And it's not because we wear skirts. It's because we wear glasses.
We go from being our father's daughters to our husband's wives to our baby's mothers.
You've been gone for 300 hours.
Was Mama gone for 12 and a half days?
No, but it felt like it.
It felt like it to me, too.
It's crunch time. In 14 days, astronauts will be here for training. Everything we do can matter to their wives, to their children. It was going to matter to the whole damn country.
My gals are ready. We can do the work. That's John Glenn.
What do you ladies do for NASA?
Calculate your launch and landing, sir.
Engineering. And I'm proud as the devil to be working with you.
How could you possibly be ogling these white men?
It's equal rights. I have the right to see fine in every color.
There's no protocol for women attending.
There's no protocol for a man circling the earth either, sir.
Every time we have a chance to get ahead, they move the finish line. Every time.
We all get there together, or we don't get there at all.
It's good to know NASA hadn't given up on good old-fashioned brain power.
3, 2, 1.
Let me ask you, if you were a white male, would you wish to be an engineer?
I wouldn't have to. I'd already be one.
Don't you know that we're able?
What do you think of that then? Hidden Figures. If you haven't seen that film, watch it, because it's about 3 black women who were kept down, and then suddenly they realized how clever they were. They realized how much hard work they had done, and they realized how much they needed them, not just to aim high, but to aim higher than high and literally help put a rocket on the moon for the Americans. Amazing story of those 3 women there, and I recommend that film to you. You really must make sure you watch that, because it's an incredible story. Also, the story of this little lad, Elon Musk, who grew up as a little boy in South Africa, read and read and read. He read every book in the library and ended up being one of the most famous inventors in the world, inventing Tesla cars. And this man, Yusaku Maezawa, who is paying loads and loads of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, apparently, to go on Elon Musk's rocket to space. So that's what today's all been about. Today has been about the 3 greatest gifts that anybody can give a child, give you, or you can give your children in your care. Some time for reading, for playing, some books and some stories, and art. Because art is what we call it when what we do might connect us to somebody else. And that's what today's all been about. It's about aiming high and getting your dreams, meeting those dreams. As Action Jackson says, having an aspiration is your dream, what you want to do. He wants to be #1 in the UK for a happiness podcast. I want to get people to join the Rocket Kids Club so we can be inspired, so we can create, we can share, we can connect kids with creative carers. But you know what some people say?
It might not work, but here's the thing. The guy who invented the ship also invented the shipwreck. And either you're in or you're out. Either you want to play this game or you don't. Art doesn't work because we did something conventional and predictable, and here it is industrialized, right? Art works because we connect.
So the festival that we will be organising in 2022 is a festival of creativity in its broadest sense. So what we're looking for is events that will help to bring people together and show the value of art.
An event like this is absolutely overdue. Being from a working class family as well, we've never had access to the arts.
I think this is amazing, and we should encourage Nick to do more of this so that we can connect friends through art. Is actually amazing.
Well, a lot of schools have taken music out of their curriculum, and I find that really important.
This book is going to change lives. There are 7 stories.
Keep doing what you're doing. I love your passion. Please keep doing what you're doing. Inspiring the kids. I think it's great. Not enough parents spend enough time with the kids. They leave them on their iPads and things like that. And I absolutely love it. Keep doing what you're doing. I love your passion.
Boys will be boys. Better let them have their toys. Girls will be girls. Cute ponytails and curls. Must put an end to this stress and strain. I think I want to live that sporting life.
I'm going to make it happen for you, Nick.
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm going to make it happen for you because what you're doing is, in the end, absolutely brilliant.
I had the idea of getting a big screen to come here and celebrate. And I did a thing called a crowdfunder. And I said to lots of people, I only gave myself 24 hours, and they said, you'll never do it.
One time for the Lord. One time
Art and creativity is absolutely everything, you know, to fuel the jobs for the future.
Niall, what does collaboration mean to you?
For me, collaboration is everything. So my whole life is a collaboration.
Fantastic words there from Niall Rogers. Collaborate, work together, share and aim high. And all those messages today are about convincing you that you can achieve anything, work hard, aim high and keep on trying. The world needs you more than ever. The world needs your art. And here's a lovely book for the day, Look Up. A lovely book about a little boy who looked up in the sky, looked at the stars and had a fantastic, fantastic adventure. Fantastic adventure because he followed his dreams and looked up and saw different things. He saw what other people weren't seeing because he looked up in the sky. Absolutely lovely book there. Look Up by Nathan Bryan. Fantastic book for you. So we're going to go now. We'll see you all later on at Feversham Primary for the conference. Thank you so much for checking us out and we'll see you later. This is something we did at Academy St James last year.
I have a dream. One day, this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created. I have a dream. I have a dream today.
One, two.